Hello everyone! In today's video, we will talk about the experiences of the demographics I interviewed to do the research on the different perspectives that exist within my Sustainable Development Goal number 3, good health and well-being. I wanted to focus in a target and indicator. My target was substantially increase health financing and the recruitment, development, training, and retention of the health workforce in marginated zones of the city, as well in area zones where the level of education was mediocre. Before starting the interviews and listening to what people said, I would like to mention that by collating all this information, I realized that making the change is very complicated, since people often demand things they do not have, such as knowledge, and then they claim that everything is the fault of external causes, such as the government or the authorities. We must stop stagnating in what stops us as a nation and try to do something for the others. This issue was chosen because apart from being considered the most important, statistics are a reality and also a disgrace. The inequality that exists and social preference is noticeable. In this case, I tell you not to be one more, be one less of the problem. Let's continue with the interviews. Go ahead. In this first audio, you will listen a Prepa Tech student with an American citizenship but Mexican naturalized, who is 17 years old and is positioned in the high class of the society, owning a family business. His name is Thomas McGonagall, and the first question was, why do you think medical insufficiency in various sectors of the city still exists nowadays? His answer was,
I think it still exists because there aren't enough facilities, like hospital facilities. There are not enough due to compared to the immense population of Monterrey, as well as the fact that there's not enough people who work in those sorts of services, and thus, you could say like a patient per doctor ratio. It's not enough to be sufficiently efficient.
even though this person assists to a private health system, he's aware of the declines within the public health system and argues that there is a limited service in these areas to which many people do not attend or do not give it the necessary importance. However, since this is my main question of my research, I would like you to listen what the other demographics said to know their opinion based on it. Now, following up with the next interview, we have Emilio Rodarte, a Mexican Prepa Tech student who is 18 years old and is situated in the middle class. Let's see what he has to say.
I believe there's still a various medical insufficiency in some areas of the city due to the lack of money that we have in our country, in our state, I mean, especially for those special needs like medicine, since we are not implementing it in some areas that are needed.
Finally, we have Amalia Barrientos, a 68-year-old Mexican lady who has worked all her life for her and her children, but the services provided to her in the health centers are not equivalent to her effort. The interview was conducted in Spanish, but later I will summarize what she said.
¿Les alcanza para ir con el médico?
No
hay dinero.
Ok, bueno.
Por falta de dinero, de recursos.
Basically, the lady says that it's not enough for people to pay for services and much less for transport, the lack of economic resources. Then I ask a question for each one, based on what they have lived throughout their lives. The question for Thomas McGonagall was, In your opinion, should there be an investment in public health sector?
I think there should be, due to the fact that the IMSS, for example, is very, it's not the best system, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a very poor system, and there could, help, there's not enough help. They don't help you. You wait there forever. That sort of.
In conclusion, about the situation living right now in Mexico, Thomas McGonagall says that he will probably return to the United States together with his family because they gave him a better deal and his family does not support what is lived here. Now, the question for Emilio Rodarte was, why do you think there's a lack of communication between the government and these areas?
I think that there's a lack of communication due for the government not caring enough for small areas of the state, and it could also be corruption because the money doesn't, maybe the government sends money to certain areas, but the areas are not used well or do not get to the area, the money.
Perfect. Emilio Rodarte puts himself in the shoes of those of the lower class. However, he does not know many things about how the Mexican institutions work since he has only gone to a place where he receives a special and direct treatment. I would like to focus on the response that Amalia Barrientos gave me due to the hidden reality that it's on it. ¿Usted piensa que alguna gente muestra desinterés de su salud?
Sí,
¿Y eso por qué se debe?
por los malos hábitos que tienen desde chiquitos.
Okay. Bad habits are created since childhood. And why? Because society is accustomed to ignorance, mediocrity, and poor education. Thanks for tuning in. Have a nice day.